we were in Aspen. We were for some friend's birthday party. So this story actually came full circle just a couple years ago back in my golf tournament. So we did. We went to this restaurant for my buddy's birthday. I asked if we ordered a bottle of wine, and I was like, "You guys got Camus, right?" And I'm not I wasn't a wine guy at that time. I'm still not a huge wine guy. I mean, I drink nice wine because I have friends that drink nice wine, and they've exposed me to it, which is nice. But I had a buddy buy me a bottle of Camus for my birthday. It was delicious. Yeah. So that's what I drank when I drank wine. So I asked for a bottle of Camus. The guy's like, "We don't have Camus." I said, "Sure, man, just bring us anything that's like Camus." But yes, I'm wearing jeans, boots, and a t-shirt, typical, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, "Well, we got this bottle. It's 98 points on the scale." I'm like, "Bro, does it taste like Camus? Is it delicious? Like, I'll take it, whatever, right?" Mm-hmm. And I'm even with my financial guy at the time, and he was like, so the guy walks away, and he turns around, and in like in a loud voice announces it above the entire table, and like the other people surrounded, like, "Oh, sir, you do realize this is a $350 bottle." You can think like I should order something else, right? And everybody started laughing. They go, "Oh, dude, they don't think you can afford it because you look very trashy." Cowboy had a beard. I guess I can't afford it. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, what did I say? Like bring like what do I want? Like 3 bottles?" He's like, "Yeah, that sir." And I was like, "Yeah, better make it 6." So we proceeded to drink all their wine that night. There was like 10 of us at this birthday party. And the owner ended up coming over. He's like, "Who's drinking all my wine? Like, you guys drink my personal stash, too."
Yeah.
It's a jerk. So, fast forward now about 10 years later, I'm at throwing our charity event, our golf tournament. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler's there. Okay. He starts telling me how he heard that story up in Aspen. I was like, "How did you hear that story?" He goes, "It's my brother's restaurant." His brother called Bill Goldberg like that night. He's like, "Dude, the greatest thing happened. These football players and some musicians came in. They were drinking all of our wine, having a good time. It was like our sommelier like offended him, so we just started dropping, they're just buying bottles of wine and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, dude," I was like, "Tell your brother. Hopefully we didn't offend him." He goes, "No, he thought it was the greatest thing ever," and he fired the sommelier later on that day.
Yeah. Bravo.
This is Jared Allen. Welcome to the Capri.
A little camcorder looking thing. Can you see us?
I can see you. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
It's no fun if we can't see each other.
Energy needs to change their cans.
So, hey, Jared. This is my buddy Clay, roommate also. Great guy, big time in the heavy metal music industry. Used to play linebacker at Orange Coast College. That's how we met each other.
Also the sexual marketing tool behind Welcome to Capri.
He is also, yeah. So welcome.
It's like a wine mixer over there.
It is, yeah.
What was that?
We have a lovely view. It's like the Catalina wine mixer.
Oh, he's like just like you. He's just loud.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't advertise that you're the sexual marketing behind this because you are a roommate.
I know.
No,
because it's all about
how we edit.
Yeah, you should see the editing process of it.
Did you guys rub your beers together?
Yeah, it's just on top of each other, editing on top of each other. It gets tiring.
Especially doing the HBO like Sunday night fun days. What's our Sunday fun days when we're watching movies and
exactly
barbecuing? Yeah, it's good times.
Hey, so welcome to Capri. Welcome to the Capri. It's great to see you, buddy. So we just want to catch up. So you moved to Nashville. Okay. How many years have you been retired for now? 2 years?
My 3rd year, yeah. 2 years.
Dude, what are we
going on my 3rd year?
Are we thinking first ballot?
You know what? I'm a realist.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool if I made a finalist my first year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, just in my class alone.
Yeah.
Megatron, who could potentially, only 8 years in, maybe doesn't get it. But, it also depends on who the holdover are. I'm not naive enough to think they're going to put 3 first ballot guys on.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
Eddie thinks Megatron's overrated. He told me that a couple nights ago.
Hey, look, man, I played with Randy Moss. As you played for a moment with Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is a monster.
Yeah, I felt that, I don't know, I was in camp with them. I wasn't there for the whole time. He's a stud.
Randy Moss is a stud. Randy Moss is the type of player, I think Megatron is too. We always had success against him because we double teamed him. Mm-hmm. But Randy Moss is a player that he's generational, right? There's certain players in life that are generational, and he's one of those. You know, I mean, look just when he came out and what he did on the receiver side. I mean, Jerry Rice is Jerry Rice, and you have Chris Carter. But Randy Moss is being that tall, being able to run that fast and do the things. He's just a freak, and then
a personality. I love seeing him on TV now.
He is hilarious. Yes.
Was he like that in the locker room? Was that like Randy is what you get on TV? Is the same?
Yeah, I think he's got a better vibe now. But yeah, he was definitely always really funny and jovial, and I thought he was hilarious. So
I thought he was hilarious as well, and Randy definitely does him some Randy. That's Randy is Randy.
Randy, he's a unique character from West Virginia, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I mean, but you mentioned like being a realist. Like, do you want? Obviously, it's important to you. You want to be a Hall of Famer, right? Or do you like some of the guys on other media saying, "I don't care. I'm an honor to even be in the conversation."
Biggest honor you can get, right? Individual award. I guess I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't want it. That'd be a lie. I'm not. But here's the thing. My career, I did everything I could do, right? I played my career the way I played, as hard as I could. I got to do everything my way. I'm one of the few guys that's never been cut, and so, if I get to go to the Hall of Fame, I mean, that's phenomenal. But right now, my resume is my resume. Now it's up to the voters to do what they say. If for some reason it doesn't happen, it's not going to deter what my career was worth in my own eyes. But yeah, it's the ultimate honor. It's the ultimate to wear the gold jacket. I mean, it'd be phenomenal. And if you can get it first ballot, I mean, that's even more rare. That's right. But I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be the guy out like phone calling, meeting, try to campaign.
Lobbying.
Yeah, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen organically. And if it does, we'll have a heck of a party to celebrate.
But when it happens, you should roll in like you did your video rolling out on the horse. You should roll in on a horse and accept your jacket.
Let's talk about that really quick. So when you did, I thought I laughed so funny, but I knew that's totally JA. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, it's awesome. And where'd you do that at? Was that in Minnesota?
Iowa. I was in Iowa. So this is how it played out. We were in Chicago. We just got done with Carolina. We drove back from Carolina to Chicago to pack our house up in Chicago and head back to Arizona. And so knew I was retiring. My papers were getting filed that next morning. Or I'm sorry, in like 2 more on that Thursday. This is a Tuesday. We're packing up, and it's like I'm just gonna retire, and this is where it gets really the story gets really awesome. My feet were dying. I've been loading a trailer all day, right? I was like, Ames, my wife, she's getting ready to go to get a pedicure, and I was like, babe, I'm coming with, and I just want the lady just like massage my feet. My feet are.
Oh, you big strong man. You have good feet. Oh, you're so strong.
Broken foot, right? I still have a broken foot from the playoff game in the Super Bowl. And so I'm like, goodness. And so I get in there, and Aim's like, we're sitting there, I'm getting my foot massaged, and she's like, you know what? You can't just let the story leak out that you're retiring and nothing like that. She's like, no, we should do like a Charlie Chaplin like style silent video. So my buddy who lives in Iowa, who we were going to his ranch the next morning, sends us, it was storming in Chicago. He sends us this picture of the sunset. He's like, hey, this is what you guys got to look forward to. It's sunny here in Iowa, blah, blah, blah. So Aim comes up with this idea of, dude, just go out there, go grab one of those horses and just post a video of you riding into that sunset, right? Like, she's pretty dope. Like, cool, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So we haul butt to make sure we get to Iowa the next day by time of sunset, and the storm just follows us the entire way. I mean, it's like 30 below.
Yeah.
Freezing. I'm like, yeah, right on the sunset. So we improv that video right there, and actually we did it a few times. We had to cut it because a couple times when I was running, my oldest daughter, she was 4 at the time, barely 4. She's in the background yelling, "Daddy, don't fall off the horse!"
Yeah, man, that was great. I laughed so hard when I saw that.
And I can't take credit for it. That was my wife's total idea. I was just the character.
Amy, I salute you. That was hilarious.
So yeah. Now and then all of a sudden, we started to trend. And all of a sudden, Marshawn posted a picture of his cleats hanging in the locker room. I mean, hey, always going to be the trendsetter, right?
Hey, somebody's got to trailblaze, man. You know,
Exactly.
it's not for everybody. You got to stick your neck out there. Risk.
You kind of operate on this kind of the way you portrayed yourself, like, you know, being an outsider, not being in the NFL, or friends like you guys are. Like, you're always kind of the quote unquote do what you want to do guy. And I remember unique haircuts you had when you were in the league, and
The mullet.
Yeah, the mullet. Was that what it was?
That thing was nice.
I try to commit to it, but I'm not sure if you see this, but it is getting bad up there, right?
You guys have nothing to complain
I feel
about.
like it's made a comeback.
It's awkward stage where you just get this poof on the sides, and then this is just stringy.
No, I got a haircut yesterday. I don't have that anymore.
It's so horrible. And my wife's like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Trying to relive my 20s, babe." Like, what?
Yeah, you just got to style it up, man.
But we
Can't pull it off. And then, I got a really crooked nose, so then that comes, like, once it's there, it's beautiful. I mean, the mane is beautiful. I saw a picture of it the other day. By the way, little side note on the mullet, someone sent me the other day, I have my own mullet meme, which I guess is a big deal.
I've never seen that.
Me neither. It's just
We're putting it on the podcast.
That's fine.
We'll put it
We'll put it on the
Instagram,
website. Yeah.
It's flowing it in the back, dude. I mean, my mullet was pretty awesome.
I have some very fond memories of you. That was the year that you, I think, were signing with Minnesota, or just signed with Minnesota, right? You were living in AZ, and you had the mullet, and it was etched up.
Oh,
It was long. And we went to the Super Bowl. Remember when the Super Bowl was in Phoenix?
yes.
And we went and hung out at the party, and I had the caveman with me, and we went in there, rolled up with you.
Who's the caveman?
Casey, a buddy of ours.
Okay.
And you had, like, ostrich boots on with some Wranglers, a huge belt buckle, t-shirt tucked in, a flowing mullet. It's almost like you had somebody walking around with a fan in front of you. And then you just ripping a cigarette, just ripping a grit, because you weren't drinking at the time. So you just were like, I'm so bored, I'm going to smoke this cigarette.
NFL future Hall of Famer Jared Allen, ladies and gentlemen.
So I always thought it was funny. I'm like, what would be awesome? Like, back in the day, like, guys are sitting on their, because when we got to Kansas City, when I was with the Chiefs, we still had ashtrays in our locker room, like in our lockers.
I love it.
Right? But people were just, just the way it was. People just puffing on them. And so I'm like, dude, how awesome would it be now I got this mullet? Like, to be sitting down at halftime, sitting on my helmet, like, hey, coach, you know what? We really got to set this tackle up. I'm getting all full slide to me. Hold on.
I like what we're doing there. I'm a big fan of that right there.
And just totally hitting a little heat before the half.
Those are some of my favorite pictures of the old school NFL guys, man, where they're having a beer.
Stabler was doing
and they're
that.
ripping a grit. They're just like, oh, okay, we're going to go back out there and get back to work when we go back in the
So
second
the
half.
entire Raiders locker room in the AFL days.
Yeah, you'd have fit in perfect with those guys.
So yeah, when I was in the program, I thought it was really funny to, like, if you see an athlete like smoking on a cigarette every once in a while. And I remember that night. We went to it was Leinert's like Super Bowl party.
That's right.
We took the '63 Rolls Royce Silver Cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm chauffeuring 2 underwear models around, right? And I'll never forget that we're walking out. The party turns into this like charity party. They started asking people for money, and everybody's like, "We're out of here." So we get outside. I rip up a P-Funk, just.
Oh, this is my kind of guy right here.
It's like 10:30, right? It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and these little kids come up like, "Hey, Mr. Allen, can we take a picture with you?" I'm like, "Yeah." We got like a heater sticking out of my mouth. Like, what kind of little kid? This is 2006.
It's amazing.
What kind of kids that? 2006, 2007. I'm like, what kind of kids are just out at 11 o'clock at night? Where are your parents? Hold on, let me flick the cigarette out, kids. That was definitely one of those "don't meet your heroes" moments.
I remember that. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I was like, I remember you took it. This kid asked for your autograph, and you had the cigarette, and you put it down for a second, and it was just burning while you signed the deal, and you picked it back up and kept smoking it.
I'm loving where this interview is going. This is exactly what I was hoping.
Plays a fellow P-Funk.
I'm a P-Funk fan. Gotta be P-Funk.
I don't advocate smoking for all those out there. But every once in a while, you got to smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit. I want to talk about your guys' playoff run with Minnesota with Favre. Okay, so I would like to talk to you about that season a little bit. So what was that like for you? I know it was crushing at the time, and you said to me, "Hey, I'd rather have not gotten as far as we did than have lost like that."
Yeah,
the semis.
It's easier to lose, like to be like 8-8, than be one game away from the Super Bowl. and then be in field goal range to win the Super Bowl, and then be 4th and 1, and you think they fumbled the ball. You know what I mean? Like, so many times in that game, we thought we were going to the Super Bowl, and we had already smashed the Patriots. I mean, we played them I know it was preseason, but it was one of those preseason games where the starters. I'm sorry, New England, Indy, who wanted that, or who ended up going to the Super Bowl to play the Saints that year. But it was one of those we knew if we got through the Saints, we were winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're
in the preseason. It was one of those, it was first or second preseason game where starters take a series, and literally we were 3 and out with 3 sacks. It was one of those years you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. But no, man, Brett, dude, we had some of the craziest moments. You go back and look at the totality of that season. We're up on look at the Niners game that year. We're up on them. I mean, we're up by 21-14, going in the 4th. All of a sudden, we pissed on our leg, and the game's they're up. And Brett comes out of nowhere, throws a freaking Hail Mary touchdown pass. I called him Jiffy Lube. Greg Lewis came into the locker room. He was just with us that week, and he came in. He had this scratchy beard, and he looked like he was a mechanic at Jiffy Lube, right? Jiffy Lube. And Greg is one of the most awesome people ever. And here he goes, Greg Lewis, who's been on the team for literally half a breath, goes in, game-winning touchdown in the back of the end zone. It was that's when you knew you just had something special. And I'll never forget in practice watching Brett messing around. He would look to the left and he'd throw a slant to the right, on money without even looking. You're just like, dude, this dude is special. Again, one of those generational players where even the guys at the top of their game were all pinned up against our face against the glass, watching them come into the stadium.
Oh, yeah, total man crush. He's a total man crush guy, right?
Total, and it's just epic. And what you learn from him, what you don't see is, yeah, everybody knows Brett's personality, this and his highs and his lows and everything. But that dude's got work ethic, right? So he's at the facility till 10:30 at night. Not that he could go anywhere and do anything if he wanted to with Brett. Yeah. But I mean, the dude, time and time again, he knows the offense inside and out. But in his passion to win. So man, it was honestly, it was fun. It was great to get to know him. It was great to share those moments with them. You're going back and look at it. Yeah, the NFC title game. It was crushing to lose that. Honestly, it was almost more crushing to lose that NFC title game in 2009 because I knew how good we were than when we lost the Super Bowl. And we were, in 2016 where we were really good. But I think, you can kind of say, oh, well, I got to experience the Super Bowl, though we lost. But that run was epic, man. It was epic. That was an epic team.
Dude, that's right. You guys won the friggin' Super Bowl at Carolina, too, man. I'm jumping around.
Oh, wait. He was on the Carolina Panthers?
You played against Clay's Broncos.
Oh, dude. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Jared.
Broncos? You're part of that team?
Well, I'm born and raised. Yeah, here we go. Fanboy. I deserve that. I'm getting this
Colorado kid. Yeah.
I'm born and raised Denver Broncos.
That was a heck of a game. But yeah, it was one of those deals, man. Those two teams that I was on were so close. Locker rooms were so dynamic. But in 2009, I think was more important to me because I was in my prime. You know what I mean? Yeah. You felt like such a big part of that organization where I was just renting locker space over in Carolina, for being honest.
That was such a fun season to watch too when you guys were in Minnesota. Because I've always been a quarterback fan. Favre is he's one of those guys where I'm sure I would geek out if I met him. There's a couple of those older players where you meet him, you're like, hi, how you doing? Yeah.
He slapped me on my butt so hard, one day at locker room. But I went home and showed my wife. I was like, yeah, as far as handprint on my backside.
Look how big it is. Look at the finger spread on this guy. It's got to be at least a 12-inch from thumb to index or to pinky. Yeah, so do you have any funny or fond memory, or I know you have some fond memories. Do you have any funny stories about Favre from the locker room that you can share?
Well, just that kind of stuff, dude. He just, slapping dudes on the backside. You're just like, son of a gun. He came into the building like he'd been there for 20 years. Yeah. And just owned the building. And that's what it was. And, him and Brad used to go back and forth at each other. But, it was all, dude, honestly, nothing but, great memory. Even when things went downhill in 2010 and he got hurt and, 10 years of Brad getting fired, it's still just, dude, it's Brett. What you see is what you get, right? And he came and he changed up the way our cadence was. I don't like that. Let's do this. And just dominated, his presence just dominated the building for a year and a half.
Oh yeah, stud, total stud.
See, I want to know because I come from the rock and roll metal side, right? So everyone's like, what goes on the backstage and all the crap that you think goes on but doesn't go on. But there's some shit that goes down. Give me a story. You don't have to name anybody or what team you're on, but there has to be someone like someone threw an alligator in the shower, or like from all these movies we get.
Yeah, that happened more when I was in Kansas City because that was back when the show was actually fun. And
those are some good days.
You can't do anything. So I remember, actually, I had to go pick up. Everybody does the turkey prank where they send you to the store to pick up turkeys, but there's no real turkeys. Well, I actually made the store give me free turkeys because I'm like, I'm not coming back with that. So I came back with 15 turkeys. And my guy's like, dude, it was a joke. And I'm like, well, you guys want turkeys? Well, one guy, Kieran Fox, I'll never get this, and I played with him in Kansas City. I played against him with the Steelers, but they froze his clothes. They took his clothes, dumped him in the cold tub, put him outside, and froze his clothes. And thinking, it's funny. That would do a full-on brawl in the linebacker.
Oh wow!
Talking on the door, you hear him yelling, "Somebody help me!" He's part of our rookie class, and we were proud of him. Like, yeah, he stood up. So he went and got a little physical with some of the more veteran linebackers. So that was a fun one. But yeah, I remember our rookie show. I got tomatoes thrown at me. I got hit in the face with a tomato, which then led to almost altercations. You have a lot of borderline almost altercations, but it's one of those things where you get that respect, right? And then once it happens, it's fun. No one messed with Foxy anymore after those days. You understood too, like, hey man, it's all part of the program. You didn't go get your turkeys. There's got to be consequences for your actions. So as I got older in the league, and these kids from college come in, you couldn't do that. Everybody gets the turn, and everybody this. And man, I remember I got called into the office for taping up. We were in Minnesota. This kid, he was a free agent, college free agent. We just wanted him to sing his fight song. He wouldn't even sing his fight song. Yeah. So Kevin and I were like, all right. And this is the kid, Kevin Williams.
Yeah.
Just my guy. So we decided that ain't happening. So all right, after practice, we're going to make everybody line up on the goalpost and do some hand work. All right. So when this kid got on the goalpost, we rushed him, taped him to the goalpost. Baby powdered his ear holes, dumped, Gatorade on him. Made him, so everybody knew it. So Fresh calls me into the office, and I'm getting reamed at this. I said, hold up. Wait, are we really having this conversation right now?
Yeah.
This is a college free agent who didn't want to sing his fight song.
Yeah.
And I think I was 2 or 3-time Pro Bowler and had a couple All Pros.
Yeah.
And you're going to yell at me about this? Like,
yeah.
No. This is my team. This is my locker room, my D line. We do what we do. We baby powdered a couple people's ears back in the day. And if you haven't seen Kevin Williams' hand, it's about this big.
He is a big boy, man.
He's like 6'7".
Our D line was the same thing.
Really?
He didn't do what he was supposed to do. So for some reason, I was always the one that had to get in there and get physical. Maybe that's because I was training MMA, for those days, and they figured if the fight broke out, I'd be all right.
Yeah.
So he'd take him up, and Kevin would always take a big old hand of baby powder and just ear cup him. Whack.
Oh my God,
painful.
So I'm gonna jump back a little. I'm gonna jump back a little bit, okay? Because you and I played ball together, obviously, at the Idaho State University. I don't know any other university in the state of Idaho other than Idaho State, to be honest with you.
Boise State.
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
A couple good JUCOs up there too, I heard.
So you were as I was part of the Idaho State, sort of a second chance reject class of guys. Came to Idaho State.
100%.
You got Audiatar, who's now a big time MMA manager. He came from UCLA, got booted from UCLA. We had a bunch of other guys there that could have played.
Jeremy Hershey from Cal.
Yeah, it was just like the perfect storm of guys that were at big D1s and then came to Idaho State.
Eric Booze.
Oh, man, he was doing pro boxing for a while.
Yeah.
I saw him on the Tuesday night fights.
Yep.
He was an athlete, yeah. Smoking Black and Mild, throwing up to practice in college. The coaches are like, dude, is Booze rolling up? Special Black and Mild?
Smoking Black and Mild. And he said, coach, he said, what up? Hey, Booze, what you doing? Just booze being booze.
Yeah. Dude, he was outrageous.
That's great.
So
in Pocatello, Idaho.
yeah, so when I came to school there, all I remember is they were saying, "Hey man, Lou Dog, Coach Lewis, shout out to Larry Lewis." He's like, "Hey man, we got this long snapper. Okay, he's freshman. He's amazing. Baltimore already came out to look at him. I'm like, hey, I just came from OCC. We kind of had our snapper was suspect." I said, "That sounds good." And then I remember meeting you, and you're like 19, about 6'5", 240, kind of sloppy, kind of like baby fat.
75 then.
He called
you
you
275?
and he called you sloppy.
Well, you're a little bit like baby fat. I came back 6 months later, dude, and you had a growth spurt. And you were like a monster. And I'm like watching, and I got in there late, so they were doing their run test.
Right, I might have been about 260 at that
And
time.
I'm looking down on the field, and there's this dude with a baby blue headband and his shirt off, and he's just making the most noise, and he's just sprinting back and forth during the run test with the
Just
guys.
screaming?
110s back and forth, and they were
So what happened? I can even give you the backstory on that. So if you stayed for summer conditioning, so I like to, I came from California just like Eddie did, and first time, I know winter. I used to go skiing in Tahoe, right? But you live in Cal. So the first time I actually had to experience like super cold weather, I just like, I'm not leaving my room. I'm not going to class. So my typical thing was I didn't really get much class during football season. And then I'd take like 18 credits in the spring and then bang out some summer school to be eligible. So the thing was, you used to have to, if you didn't go, if you made all the summer work, if you made it like 75%, 80% of the summer workouts, you didn't have to do the conditioning test. So this year he's talking about, I had so much I was there, and all of a sudden, the strength coach, and we were in between strength coaches. We had a lady at the time, she got all pissed off at me because I was drinking beer in the weight room one day. I counted it as a workout. She obviously didn't.
supposedly great for muscle glycogen.
Yes.
Little did she know. If she knew her job, she would know that.
I was proud. I was very proud to be in the 20% body fat club, like 20% higher. I was very proud of that. I was 6'6", like 275 at the time. And so anyways, I come to and then they hired Barry Johnson. He's like, you have to do the run test. Like he was gonna show me or something. Like, oh yeah, like, all right, buddy. And I think I was just coming off like a preseason. I think I just made preseason All-America. This would have been my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
It came in after my sophomore year, so I was first team All-Conference, like preseason All-American. Kind of feeling myself. Like, yeah, right, all right, buddy. So they're like, you have to do the 110. Lou was like, I'm like, all right, that's fine. Now I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to prove to you that you guys suck. So I sprinted them all screaming the entire time. Oh, you got! Say I'll have another. I'll do another.
Please, sir, I have another.
So you had, going into your senior year, okay, so you were obviously touted as a long snapper. We knew you were going to go pro as a long snapper from like sophomore year on, no matter what. But going into your senior year, you kind of had some stuff go down, so you were like going in, very focused on football. Okay.
Very focused on fitness.
Very focused on fitness. So you got super lean, okay, and you were probably the leanest I'd seen you, and you went out and had an amazing year. You're defensive player of the year, right? And you got a beautiful portrait of yourself. So if you win the Buck Buchanan Award, which is the defensive player of the year for 1AA football, they will do like a
painting that goes above your fireplace.
A portrait of you, like a. Is it Bob Foster? Who's the guy that does the painting on TV?
The Pretty Trees.
Yeah, and it's like an oil painting, but it's like a collage of different photos of you.
Oh.
With one big picture of your face.
Can you send a photo of that to us so we can post it on?
Do you still have that?
It's got to be so. I have it. It's in storage, wrapped up, and then they have one at Idaho State.
So
Lou might have taken it with them.
You might be able to probably Google it.
So no, I brought it out to him. I'm going to jump ahead really quick. I brought it out to him in KC, and he's like, "Oh, do you have my painting? Do you have my painting?" And he just moved into a new house in Kansas City. I'm like, "Yeah, here you go." And he goes up to the fireplace, puts it above the fireplace, and then he goes, "Watch this." Flips on a switch, and then a light hits the portrait over the fireplace. It was like the only painting on the wall.
That's amazing.
Eddie came out to deliver my stuff from Idaho.
Yeah.
And he ended up staying for 5 weeks.
It sounds like
Supposed to come for 2 days, maybe 5 days.
Sounds
Like
like
2
Eddie.
pairs of clothes.
sounds like Eddie.
5 weeks later, we're in Nashville, just at Fan Fest, living the dream, baby. Viva
Yeah.
Los.
So we go to watch a friend of ours band, Blue County, Joey G. Budweiser. Shout out to Joey G. Budweiser. And he's got his band playing. We go meet up with Brent Howard over BB King's. We go down to the shore, and we're over the riverfront. They have these 2 stages going at the same time.
Yep.
And Jared's like, hey, I'm going to turn my shirt open. Writes, I love Blue County on his chest. I put him on my shoulders. We're thinking, yeah, no big deal. Hey, we're just having a good time.
Literally about 305 pounds at this time. This is part of the off season.
But 9% body fat. And 9% body fat.
So I lift him up on my shoulders, and he's got his chest open, and he's, I love Blue County. And these 2 former soap stars that are singing country music are loving it. They're pointing. Well, it ends up in the paper. Remember that?
Yes,
in the local KC paper. So we get back into town. Your coach just brings you in, right?
So we're in the middle of meetings, right? OTA. We just started OTAs, and in front of the Kansas City Star sports section, it's me just beer gutting it out, right? I love Blue County. And the headline's like, at least our star defensive end has been taking his workout serious this offseason. Just all sorts of fatness. John's just like, really? I was like, listen, off-season's off-season.
Oh, I know. This is like pre-Instagram and cell phones.
So you were actually the party guy before the Gronk arrived. But there was like Gronk this, Gronk that. You were like having fun.
1,000 times before Gronk.
Yeah.
That was batting balls like before J.J. Watt was batting balls.
This is like The Godfather, an old
This is the
school.
OG.
This is The Godfather.
This is the OG right here. Like,
We had a good time. But you know what? We had a motto in case. That's like I'm saying. It was the old NFL. The old NFL was work hard, play hard, right? So everybody knew their boundaries. Everybody knew their limits. Obviously, you make mistakes and you have to learn from them and stuff like that, which happened in my life career. But I just remember like that locker room in KC. I mean, if you came in on a Wednesday and you smell like you were lackluster late, you smell like you'd been out on a Tuesday, you didn't have to worry about what the coaches were doing. Like the players were going to address that, and there's a chance it could get physical,
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those deals. Like you had to be professional about it. You had to mind your P's and Q's. You knew what days you could go out, when you could hang out, have fun. Everybody kind of knew their boundaries. Even when I got in trouble, I had to come back in and face the team. That was the hardest part. Like going in front of the team, like man, I effed up, and then they support you. But I mean, you get that like tough love from the family. Nowadays, the locker rooms aren't in that same chemistry where there's like I said, Carolina was like that, very player dominated and driven. Nowadays you get a lot of too many coaches in the locker room, and there's just so fun and sweet about football. That's what I think we all love about football. We laugh about our college days. So much drama in our own college locker room, but it was managed in our locker room. We won't name names, but we had one teammate haymaker another teammate in his face before practice as he's putting on his socks.
Yes, it's true.
You never would have known about it till the coaches. I don't think coaches ever knew about it.
Yeah.
Family just arrived home.
The kiddos. Tell me really quick. Let's get back to that. So after you had that happen, though, because I was living with you in AZ for a minute, and you had that happen, and you were coming back from that. Talk about that. You were at KC. You had a couple good seasons, but then you had some come up where you were kind of in some hot water for a little bit, and you took a whole year off and focused completely on getting better.
So I think it's just like anything, right? If you're gonna, like I said, play hard, work hard, you got to handle the consequences when you come through. And made some bad choices, but you learn from mistakes. I think things in life happen for a reason, right? And unless you learn from them, you're always growing as a human being, as for me, as a husband, as a father, as a Christian. You're always growing, and if you're not, then you're moving backwards, right? Or if you're not learning from your experiences. So I made a couple bad decisions, and I caught 2 DUIs in 5 months, right?
Yeah.
And just at a spot in my life where it's like you got this so-called fame, and you got no responsibility. You're living too free, right?
Sometimes invincible.
Yeah, you need some checks and balances, right? And like I said, so I come back in. The hardest thing was you have to answer to the team. Then you get through a legal stuff. But for me, it's always I'm big on self-assessment, right? Where am I at in my life? So you get put into the program, they say you can't drink for 2 years. Okay, that's fine, right? I'm gonna go talk to these people, figure out where I'm. For me, it was a growing up. I was very immature, very I had no responsibility concept outside of I play ball, I'm a meat stick, I gotta have my age. And learning how to be able to flip that switch on and off and learn how to function in society, and then just learning how to represent yourself, your family. I got calls from my grandfather, but like I said, and then being that member, that teammate, the young guys following behind you, that you look at the guys, like Tony Gonzalez. Here's a guy probably the best at whatever he did. Now he found time to have fun, but he did it in a responsible way, and it never affected his career. So anytime your outside life becomes a distraction on your career, you really got to make some changes. So I said, all right, buck up. You got in trouble. You can't drink for 2 years. So let's just get in the best shape you possibly can. So I dropped like 25 pounds of bad weight. That's back when they were making me play at like 280. Got back down to 255.
Yeah.
Had the league sacks. Ended up with a big contract in Minnesota. So sometimes I think you don't see the long picture. For me, it's being a man of faith. And you don't always know what trials you're getting put through for what reason when you're going through them. But when I look back, it was like, man, I would never, if I wouldn't have had those experiences in my life and learned some hard lessons when I hit the jackpot in Minnesota, goodness, the rails might have just come off if I didn't have any concept.
Yeah, I want to commend you on that, man, because you did such a good job of handling that. A lot of guys, you see it happen in the NFL, they'll get popped for maybe substance abuse, and they'll just keep getting popped, and they keep getting popped, and you just turned it off and turned it on when you need to the right way.
It was a maturity issue, and learning how to be responsible, learning how to grow up. And anybody that knows me knows I've never been a malicious, person. I have a big heart. I'm viciously loyal to my friends. I'll do anything for them. But a lot of times I just like having fun. I made some really stupid decisions trying to have fun.
Do you think that's the big thing? Because obviously you see the draft. We just had the draft last week, right? And all these players just got drafted. And we're going to have a 7th rounder be a Pro Bowler and potentially a 6th rounder be a Hall of Famer. Is that because they can handle the off the field better and they understand the business? Because everyone's good athletes, right?
Where you see low round guys, I was a 4th rounder, right? But you see like the top, a lot of it is because we have bigger chips on our shoulders. I was drafted 126th. That means I hated 125 people ahead of me, and I wanted to prove every single day. I still never feel like I've arrived. I always just felt like I was looked at. And I had 10 plus sack seasons where I didn't make the Pro Bowl, right? So every year I would be like, watching a guy with like 6 sacks make the Pro Bowl, and I'm like, what? Like, so I'm getting slighted. I got to do more to prove that I'm better than everybody else. So I think it comes down to, you get through that process of growing and learning. And Tony Gonzalez taught me something one time. Herm Edwards asked Tony, asked him to come speak in front of the team. And Tony's like, no, like, I don't want to be a leader. I'm not a leader, coach. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, if they need a speech from me to be motivated to play, I don't want them on my team. Tony taught me, you need to be, if you're not self-motivated to be the absolute very best, then you have no business in this game. And Tony was, every catch you've seen Tony make, he's practiced 100 times on the field. I mean, that dude's out there catching every ball. He takes care of his body, right? He's the one that got on. Hey, Jared, your body is, your body's like a race car, right? What kind of fuel are you going to put into it? And he was my Eddie after I had Eddie. If I would listen to Eddie back in maybe I would have been a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, he was vegan, didn't he?
A healthy friend in college that we would try to get fat. And I didn't until my senior year when I again, that got shaken up. My senior year, I decided, I thought taking an extra long spring break was worth it. My junior year,
5
so
weeks.
I got moved from spring ball, but my punishments were I always got suspended for winter conditioning, so I wasn't allowed to work out with the team.
You're not allowed to run those 12 100.
And then when I found out, so finally everybody got pissed off that I wasn't getting up at 5, so my coach made it to where I could only work out when the team wasn't working out in the facilities.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Get up at 4:30 and be in the gym. So it finally got me into the gym, and I've always liked the gym. My thing is I like cheeseburgers too,
Yeah.
So I got into eating healthy and doing that. And I tell you what, I saw such a difference. And with all that said, again, learning lessons in life, they catapult you into different facets of your life all the way along. So I mean, through that stuff that happened to me in 2006, I ended up understanding what a proper diet does for your body, right? Understanding lean muscle mass versus bad weight. That changed my entire career. I operated at 255 the rest of my career instead of 275, 280. Understanding the work ethic, got into MMA really bad, understanding that and enjoying that, you get into his play, like I said, he ended up in Minnesota, having a chance to play with Brett. And so, things all happen for a reason. And, but yeah, it was a fun journey, to say the least.
But you got rewarded, though, because after that year, you went out and played and had a lights-out season like that, correct? And then that's when Minnesota jumped on board, right?
Yeah, after that, I led the league in sacks.
At Kansas City.
Right. In my first pro ball, and then they tried to franchise tag me. I forced the trade to Minnesota.
And they did 2 restricted first-rounders, which never happens.
So yeah, they gave up a first and 2 thirds and like a fifth or something like that.
I thought it was 2 firsts. Okay.
I became the highest paid defensive player in NFL history at the time. So yeah, man, it was.
How was that feeling?
I'm not gonna lie, but here's the deal: you feel like you win the lottery, but you don't actually ever see it. You see a number on a piece of paper, but it's not like your hand. You don't ever see the check. It gets wired to a bank account that you access.
You should ask for the giant check. Like it's like I want the big ass check. Like
sweepstakes. I want a photo. That's something you would do. Give me something.
You know what I learned really quickly? When you get paid, your expectations go through the roof, so you don't have time to enjoy it and celebrate. You have to work like 10 times harder. They say it's tough as being on top, and it sure is. I ended up with 14 and a half sacks that following season in Minnesota, but I started the year off with only like 3 sacks in 3 games, and they were like, "What's wrong with him? He's like the worst player." I'm like, guys, you realize if I average a sack a game, that's 17, that's 16 sacks.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 after 3 weeks. Why I'm such a bad player?
Like he's on pace to get 17 sacks, guys.
You were really doing like 3-4 sacks, couple forced fumbles in case. Yeah, that's probably
why. I was suspended the first 2 games of 2007, so I ended up because of the stuff in 2006, and so I ended up with 15 and a half sacks in 14 games, and so I guess everybody just expected that pace, and I was like, it's not that much further. And then at one point, Kevin had 6 at sacks, and I only had like 4 on the year.
Yeah.
And they're just like, just killing me. But it ended up being all right. But man, Minnesota was phenomenal. But yeah, with that comes higher expectation, right? To much is given, much is expected.
So tell me, this is a perfect segue because I heard I've never talked to you about this, but I heard an extremely funny story about you and Boomer after you had signed your contract in Minnesota, wearing Wranglers t-shirt, and you guys were in Aspen. And you're in Aspen, and you went to dinner like at a bougie place. Hi. You went to dinner at a bougie place, and you're looking at the wine menu, and the sommelier, and you're like, what bottle of wine is that? Check me if I'm wrong here. What bottle of wine is that? And the Som's like, sir, that bottle is $700. And you're like, cool, I'll take 6 of them. That's the story I heard.
Very, very similar. We were can you get down? Yeah. We were in Aspen. We were for some friend's birthday party. So this story actually came full circle just a couple of years ago back in my golf tournament. So we did. We went to this restaurant for my buddy's birthday. I asked for a bottle of wine, and I was like, "You guys got Camus, right?" And I'm not like I wasn't a wine guy at that time. I'm still not a huge wine guy. I drink nice wine because I have friends that drink nice wine, and they've exposed me to it, which is nice. But I had a buddy buy me a bottle of Camus for my birthday. It was delicious.
Yeah.
So that I drank when I drank wine. So I asked for a bottle of Camus. The guy's like, "We don't have Camus." I said, "Sure, man. Just bring us anything that's like Camus." But yes, I'm wearing jeans, boots, and a t-shirt. Typical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, "Well, we got this bottle. It's 98 points on the scale." I'm like, "Bro, does it taste like Camus? Is it delicious? Like, I'll take it, whatever, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even with my financial guy at the time, and he was like, so the guy walks away, and he turns around, and in like in a loud voice announces it above the entire table, and like the other people surrounded. He's like, "Oh, sir, you do realize this is a $350 bottle?" You didn't think like I should order something else, right? And everybody started laughing. They go, "Oh, dude, they don't think you can afford it because you look very trashy." Cowboy hat and a beard. I guess I can't afford it. And so I was like, oh, yeah. What did I say? Like, bring, like, what do I want? Like 3 bottles? He's like, yeah, that's, sir. And I was like, yeah, better make it 6. So we proceeded to drink all their wine that night. There was like 10 of us at this birthday party. And the owner ended up coming over. He's like, who's drinking all my wine? Like, you guys drink my personal stash, too.
Yeah.
It's a jerk. So fast forward now about 10 years later, I'm at throwing our charity event, our golf tournament. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler's there.
Okay.
He starts telling me how he heard that story up in Aspen. I was like, how did you hear that story? He goes, it's my brother's restaurant. His brother called Bill Goldberg like one night. He's like, dude, the greatest thing happened. Football players and some musicians came in. They were drinking all of our wine, having a good time. He was like, our sommelier like offended him, so we just started dropping, some Polish. They're just, buying bottles of wine and stuff like that. And I was like, tell your brother, hopefully we didn't offend him. He goes, no, he thought it was the greatest thing ever, and he fired the sommelier later on that day.
Yeah.
Bravo. We've made it.
Go for the song.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Never. That's what we learned from that story.
That happens to football players a lot too. I remember there was a kicker, Shane Graham, had a realtor to that song in Cincinnati.
Is this Rick?
No, not Rick the Kick.
Okay.
He's talking about Nick. We won't say his name. Rick the Kick. Rick the Kick. Why don't you come on down and go for soap? Great for the legs.
Loves wine, apparently. Loves wine too.
That happens a lot though. I think Shane Graham was telling me a story one time where he was looking at a condo and they were like, this guy can't afford it. And this financial guy called the guy and said, hey, dude, that guy just signed a $2 million deal. Stupid.
I had a furniture store in Scottsdale. I was wearing with Boomer. That's right. We're getting ready. We're setting up my house.
Tuxedo T-shirt, Boomer? What? MC Hammer pants, tuxedo T-shirt wearing Boomer?
Yes, or shirtless Boomer for anybody who really knows Boomer.
Yeah.
We were getting my house ready for the Cribs episode. So I was like buying some. I asked the lady at Ladlow's Furniture. I was like, "Hey, you guys got bunk beds?" And she was like, "Oh." She looked at us. I'm in like flip flops, board shorts, and a tank top. She goes, "You know what? You actually might want to go across the street down to like the discount furniture store." So we put down the lady. We put down to the other kids' furniture store. We sell real furniture too. So the lady ended up. We let her furnish the entire house, and she was like, "This is great." But yeah, totally got kicked out of the store because didn't look like we could afford it.
Wow.
I've been asked. I've been told I can't go to restaurants because, sir, we don't allow shorts and hats here. Sorry. Like, no.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no shoes, no shirt. You know the saying.
See ya.
Question for you. So I thought this was great because this takes so much cojones. So when you were coming out, you were kind of coming out as a long snapper / defensive end special teams guy, right?
Yeah.
KC. And I remember thinking how funny it was because you were coming in to replace, who was the veteran there that was a stud? He was a long snapper.
Kendall Gammon.
Kendall Gammon, but he tore his ACL, I think, the year before on a return or something.
He was there. He was just a year 15, so they were looking for a replacement.
He was older, yeah. But they brought you in to snap, but you intentionally snapped poorly in practice so you could play defensive end. That takes some cojones, man.
Preseason games.
In preseason games.
Mention names, but snapping's easy for me. I don't need to practice.
Right.
And I'm a rookie, and I'm trying to win the defensive end spot, right? And I'm having a good. I'm running number 2 right now. I'm having a good, good preseason so far. And our part of the time was constantly just wanting to practice. Like second down, I'm trying to get myself, having me snap. I'm like, dude. So I was just throwing like shin level balls all the time.
Fast too. Like when he snaps the ball, it's like 0.5 something. It's insane how hard he snaps.
So my agent calls me. He's like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "You're not snapping very well." I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to play DN." Like, whatever. So Vermeil calls me. We end up switching punters halfway through preseason, and I got to snap. They make me snap back-to-back games to give Kendall, a rest, whatever. And so this punter, Steve the Body.
Steve the Body Cheek.
Yeah. So they just left me alone, right? And I was doing it, so I ran out to them, and so I'm just throwing. So my coach was like, what's going on, right? He's like, how come you didn't snap like that before? I was like, because you guys wouldn't leave me alone. Like, I just want to play defensive end. I know how to snap. Chill out. Like, I'm good. I'm trying to play defensive end. So here's how. So finally, Kendall actually was the one that got the coaches like to realize the less he practices, the better he is. Stop agents, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of these people trying to make me snap 100 balls a game. Like, I'm just going to throw them at your ankle so you quit asking me to snap. Like, I don't need to do it.
Yeah. Hey, I'll roll the dice, you know?
I rolled the dice and it worked out all right.
Yeah, were they reluctant to start you at defensive end at first? Did they not take you seriously?
Well, they had Bonnie Holiday, Bonnie Holiday there. I mean, they obviously, wanted me to play defensive end, as well. And they were hoping I could do both, right? Like I did in college. And obviously, Kendall's glad he kept his job for the next couple of years. I went in, and then Vonnie, one of the classiest guys ever, when I took the starting job in week 6, he called me before anybody else to say, hey, man, you're playing better ball than me. He's like, you're starting. Don't ever give it back. He's like, I'm coming to try to take it back, but don't ever give it back. Yeah. And that dude's so humble. He taught me, him and Eric Hicks taught me so much.
Yeah, about Hicks. I forgot about Hicks, yeah.
It works. And, man, I got blessed to be surrounded by phenomenal people and on all my teams, man, and help me grow, not only as an individual, as a football player, but as a human being. Herm Edwards is always such a huge part of my life. He helped me grow so much as a man. Brad Childress as well, taking me from Kansas City when I was so-called at risk and helping me develop into an even better player, and great Coach Dunbar. Bob Carmel, who's passed away, but I just had huge influences in my life on and off the field, from players to coaches at every stop along the way. And so I was really blessed in that aspect. But yeah, it was, one of those years when I came in and I, ended up taking the job week 6, and that was the thing, is just, they said, I was only getting 20 plays a game, when I first few games, and it was one of those deals, don't gripe about it, make your 20 better than his 40, right? And that's what I did. And that's what happened. And then I still had to step in a long snap every once in a while, because as you alluded to earlier, Kendall broke his femur trying to make a tackle.
Wait, he broke his femur?
Oh, man, the knee. It's like
his knee just buckled on the field. I remember seeing that.
They said that's like the equivalent of like a major car.
He didn't. I don't know if he broke his femur, but he tore his ACL.
I was like, "Jeez, you guys in the NFL hit so hard."
He got hit by a sniper. He didn't even get hit by anybody.
He was breaking down like 20 yards before the guy even got there. Just all of a sudden, leg buckled, and you roll on the field. I had to go on a snap. I've had to do that a few times. And boom, perfect long snaps.
Yeah.
Secretly the best long snapper in the NFL that no one ever knew about.
You could probably snap it under 10, 15 years right now. That's how much heat you have on your ball.
Oh, yeah.
I could post you up, get you a little halo,
He doesn't need practice. He's actually probably really good right now.
Well, actually, we were trying to, we were in Minnesota, we were in Arizona, first year of retirement, right? And Cardinals long snapper, he'd blown a couple of games. So I had Amy sit back, at 15 yards. I'm like, I'll just throw one lightly back and catch it. So she's throwing with one hand and trying to catch it. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And because they sent it to Ken, I was like, hey, Ken, feel free to send this down to Arizona. Let them know. Listen, I'm still retired. I just need hobbies, and so I still snap.
This is my workout. This is my workout day.
Come out of retirement. Jerry, come out of retirement, play defense. Oh, actually, no. It's strictly my contract.
Strictly long snapping.
Unsolicited workout.
Probably allowed 8 plays a game, so you better not score more than 9 points.
I only come out on Saturdays. And then
you play
Sundays.
Sign me up. I got it.
So what's next? Retirement. You've been retired. So now what's on your plate now? What are you focused on?
It's trying to be a husband and a dad. Try not to annoy the missus too much. Try not to annoy my kids too much. Play some golf. I got some things in the works. Just hanging out, helping kids. Coaching kids down at Vanderbilt, gonna head down to just helping out, not coaching, just helping out down there, working out down there, and showing them some things. Just out with the Titans, show some of the guys, but I got some other things I can't disclose quite yet, but eventually it'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah.
What's talk to me really quick, if you have time, about this spring league that just came up that you're.
That's a big thing. What we're doing. So I invested in the Alliance of American Football, and what it is, it's a spring league, 8 teams, 10 games. We start February 9th, 2019 on CBS, and we'll play through. We'll be done. Our championship game will be done by the time the NFL draft kicks off. So what it is, it's the league where, that bottom half of the roster that gets cut, the practice squad guys, the guys that just don't feel like they fulfilled that. We want to give them a place where they can play quality football. I mean, we have NFL coaches. We have Brad Childress in our Atlanta team. Steve Spurrier in our Orlando team, and all of our teams are set. We'll roll those out, in the next month or so. But we're going to have quality coaches where you'll see they're going to be NFL, top guys. Bill Pulley, one of the best football minds that there is in our league. And so we want to give these guys quality football. We want to create an organization that, the players, the organization, the fans are all aligned, right? And that, we want to change the way the fans get to view the game. We're going to have this, whenever our app comes out, it's going to be, all the games will live stream to our app, and you can play in a real-time interactive fantasy football with each other, right? So that's going to be really cool. There's just a bunch of different cool, innovative ways, but not necessarily changing the game to where it's gimmicky,
XFL stuff.
Yeah, super excited about it. Quality football, better viewing, faster paced game, changes in the rules to make it safer for all players, and going from there.
Where can people find more information on all that? Is there a website?
AAF.com.
Okay.
AAF.com.
Yep. And check it out.
Are you now? Also, got to commend you on your Homes for Wounded Warriors. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we built for the last 10 years. We've been building homes for our handicapped vets coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. We've done 9. We're about to deliver another one this month, and we've got 8. After we deliver that one, it'll be 7 projects currently going all over the United States. So I've been doing that for 10 years. We got some great corporate partners. We throw a golf tournament, once a year, do a little fundraising. But yeah, it's been steady. I got a great team that takes care of it, and so yeah, it's been a fun way to bless those and to serve those who serve us over the years.
What's a good website for people to find out more information about that?
.com.
Homesforwoundedwarriors.com?
Yep.
And then now, are you still in the PBR rodeo game?
I'm not. You know what?
Oh, you got out of it. Okay.
Motto that unless the money is crazy good or the family is completely, all on board with it, some things are just too much time and effort than they're really worth. So I found that I was putting too much time and effort for something that, I could be doing other things. So I got out of it. I still do a little stuff with the CBR, but for the most part, I got out of it. It's a great organization. It's a great deal. Again, it just, at some point you got to look at your investments and see where the dollars are better spent.
Right. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Jared?
No, I think that's about it.
Is there anything you want to bring up and talk about Eddie, since you know so much about him, since you went to college with him?
We would be here for another 6 days.
Yeah. We'll save that for episode 2 with Jared Allen. It'll actually just be you and me.
We don't need him. Roller coaster.
We don't need him in this one. It'll just be you and me, a one-on-one.
Yeah. Eddie hit a bad punt one game. He'd be like, "Oh, it's because I ate too much salt this week," and then he would go for a month until he got his chakras in line.
I want to talk to you soon. I can't wait till you have your next thing that comes out. So people need to pay attention to Jared Allen the next 6 to 8 months, probably. Just be aware. Just be aware of what's going on with JA.
Probably the next 3 months.
Yeah, right.
You guys will be one of the first shows we do once it happens.
I love it, buddy. Well, hey, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the Capri.